Although this is an education channel, I decided to share my deconversion as a way of showing my viewers how I got to this point in my life. I have decided to make this an education channel because there are already many great atheist channels on YouTube. Many still in the faith will say I was never a true Christian, but I beg to differ. In my teen years, I wanted to go to church. When I was in my early teens, my friend's father killed her and then killed himself. I knew I would be comforted at church. I was one of those people atheists can't stand, always willing to share my faith with others. I was in church every time there was a service, even during revival. College was a huge eye-opener for me. I grew up rather sheltered in the Bible Belt of the United States. I remember Sunday laws, when no one was open on Sunday except hospitals and emergency workers. College opened my eyes to other ways of life. Not only did I switch to a metaphorical interpretation of the Bible, I started attending church more. Instead of exploring my doubts, I stamped them down. I was alone for the first time in the world, so I went back to familiar patterns. In 2002, I joined another denomination, one that made a little more sense to me. That is the one I left about 3 months ago. I was happy, I thought, but the doubts were still there, no matter how hard I tried to beat them down. Then I found the atheist YouTube community, but it is Ken Ham I have to thank for coming out of religion. Atheist YouTubers, actually. If not for them, I never would have seen it. Ham said something along the lines of, if Adam was metaphorical, Jesus would never have had to come. Thanks, atheist YouTubers. So how did a faithful Christian become an atheist? There's more than one reason, of course. There always is. But I listened to you, and I thought about what you said. Where does a Christian go when she has questions? To the Bible, of course. For the first time in my life, I could find no answers. The answers I thought I had found in times past. I answered those questions myself, I realized. What I found was truly horrifying. That God was not a God of love, as I had been taught my whole life. The God of the Bible, I realized, was a petty, vindictive, genocidal megalomaniac. Some will try to come to the defense of the Bible, but if God is all-knowing, even one contradiction ruins his credibility. And trust me, there's more than one. Also, what about all the contradictions between science and the Bible? I have come across many people who would rather believe an old, outdated compilation of stories rather than the evidence right before their eyes. They fight tooth and nail against reality, but the truth will win. It was a very hard decision, although looking back, I don't really know why. I could not honestly say there was no God, but I could also not honestly say there was a God. I had lived my entire life for Christ. Could I just walk away? On the other hand, if I didn't walk away, I was no better than the charlatans who peddle false hope. I had come to the end of a long, arduous journey, thanks in part to the support of you, my friends. Yet a greater journey awaits me. Of course, as many of you know, it didn't happen all at once. I had been introduced to the wider world in college. I became more understanding and accepting of people as they are, and I will never go back to the judgmental woman I once was. It would have been enough reason in and of itself. The Bible in no way depicted the loving God I was taught to believe in all my life, but a far greater and more disturbing discovery awaited me. Yahweh was not a Jewish God at all. He was part of the Canaanite pantheon, and the Jews were just a group of Canaanites that decided to band together. The truth about the Bible and Yahweh infuriated me. I had been lied to. Join me on this journey. Learn what I learned. Not the falsehood of faith, but how a believer's brain is tricking him or her. I leave the falsehood of faith to the rest of the atheist YouTubers. They do an excellent job. I am not here to influence you either way. I want you to have enough knowledge to make an informed decision. This is your decision. Decide for yourself. I cannot, with clear conscience, worship Yahweh anymore. Yet if you decide that you still can, I'm fine with that. It is your decision, and I won't say a word. I do, however, want to give you knowledge. Like a phoenix rising from the ashes, so shall my life be. I do mourn a little for what I have lost, but I have gained my freedom. Always question. Never give up on the pursuit of truth. And never be afraid.